tossed in like a castaway. What we wanted, not what we thought we wanted. Tossed in, you couldn't see it coming. What we needed, not what we thought we needed. Don't give up, don't give in. Watching, waiting patiently from where riches flow. My heart is sure to follow. Over here, you can see much clearer. What you wanted was always only what we needed. Won't give up, won't give in. Take everything we have and let the new begin. Won't give up, won't give in. Take everything we have and let the new begin. Take everything we have and let the new begin.
Thank you. Thank you. So good to be back. Woo! There she is. Hello. Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy and grateful we could do this again for you before the end of the year. A huge welcome to our live streamers. So happy that you could be joining us as well today. So it's an absolute pleasure, and I say, and a privilege to be able to share this information with you and share the wisdom that the late Bob Proctor shared with me. I actually have a special video of Bob. I've got a few actually to share with you today, and one to start off with that hasn't been seen at a live event since 2018. So very happy to share that with you and with the live streamers as well. So as Simone said, I've been guiding people to create the lives that they really want now, dedicating my life to that. And I've been a part of the Proctor Gallagher Institute for the last 8 years. As a PGI consultant, sharing the Thinking into Results principles, coaching hundreds of people through that program and coaching thousands of people globally. So it is an absolute privilege. We were here just a couple of weeks ago for our VIP client days in this same room. We've included that now as part of our premium coaching programs, access to live training days like this with your peers, with your colleagues, and Kelly and Craig, who you're going to hear from a little bit later on, can attest to the value of being part of a like-minded community. How many of you love the idea of being able to come together, talk about your dreams and goals, and also have a plan to turn it into results? We don't do it enough, and we don't think big enough often enough. So any of those prejudices, precedents that you might have brought into the room today, really try to let all of that go and think creatively from this moment forward, and really open yourself up to the ideas today and the concepts presented. Even if they feel a little crazy for you right now, I really encourage you to have an open mind for the next 2 hours as we get into this. I guess you could sort of think of today's seminar like the very tip of the iceberg, in terms of what I can teach you, the benefit that you can get from this. And today is about expanding your level of awareness about what's possible for you, and getting you really thinking about what's possible for you and your companies and your teams. And great leadership is about not only leading ourselves, but being able to lead others as well. So we want to bring all of that today. But without any further ado, I want to share this very special message with you from the late Bob Proctor. He's here with us in spirit, and thanks to technology, we have this clip to share with you that he filmed for me many years ago. So we want to start off today's seminar with that, if you'll allow me, please. So here we go.
Hello there and welcome. I'm Bob Proctor. You know, many years ago, someone said, we're always in the right place at the right time. Whether we realize it or not is another thing. Well, I'm going to tell you, you're in the right place at the right time. You're going to hear from a very good friend of mine, a very important part of our organization, the Proctor Gallagher Institute, Karen Brook. Karen has well prepared herself for this particular meeting. She's going to explain some ideas to you that I used many years ago, and like that, my life changed. In fact, the change was so strong and so big that I have never stopped studying what happened to me. And we're really talking about life, about how we live, how we want to live, and then how we're living. Very few people live the way they want to live. I want you to stop and think of how you're living right now. Is it really the way you want to live? Well, most people say, yeah, I'm living the way I want to live. But bottom line is they're not. They don't drive the car they want. They're not living in the house they want. They don't send their kids to school. Maybe they like them send. They don't take the vacations they want. And it's always like we're $1 short and a day late. And we get so used to how we're living, we say, well, this is how I want to live. But you know, if you gave them killer polygraph and really drew the truth out of them, that is not how they want to live at all. They have dreams. We all have dreams. You see, we're truly spiritual beings, and spirits always for expansion and fuller expression. There's something inside of you, there's something inside of me that wants to express itself in a greater way. It's our uniqueness that we want to express. And there's something unique about you and about me. We're all just a little bit different. Well, you know, I have found by following the advice of someone that was much smarter than I was, he said, if you do exactly what I tell you, everything in your life will change. Now, I did not believe that. I was 26 years old. It's a long time ago. But I didn't believe that. And when I stopped and thought about it, I had never done what I was told. I was one of those kids that just wouldn't follow direction. So here I am, 26. I'm unhappy, sick, and broke. He was happy, healthy, and wealthy. And I guess he said the key thing. He said, your way's not working, Bob. Why don't you try mine? And he said, if you do exactly what I tell you, you can truly have anything you want. Now, I really didn't believe that, but I believed he believed it. And so I started to follow direction. My life has changed like night and day. I built a company that operated all over the world. I sat down one day and I wrote that I wanted to build a company that operates all over the world. I was in a little room in a den on Maplewood Lane in Glenview, Illinois. I was in 1973. Now, I started to study this from 1961, so I had a fair amount of background in this field. The last time we streamed a seminar, it was to 113 countries. The goal had been touched on. Well, Karen Brook began to study this with me a few years ago. And she became so fascinated with it, she wanted to become part of our company, which she did. She became a consultant with us. And right now, she is, without question, one of the top consultants anywhere in the world. Now, our head office is in Phoenix, Arizona. I live in Toronto. Our company is virtual. We have people scattered all over the place. And she stands like a beacon on a dark night. So she's going to be explaining over the next hour or so some ideas. If you are wise, you will listen very carefully. Now, let me caution you. We hear with our ears. We listen with our emotions. You can be in the room and you could hear and not listen. That's the way most men are when they're telling their wives they're listening. They're not listening at all, and vice versa, I suppose. I want to suggest you let yourself get emotionally involved in what she's going to explain. And if you will let yourself get emotionally involved, you're going to see that she does have a path, a strategy for anyone in this room to change the direction of their life. And not just a small change, a quantum leap. You see, the best among us, the wisest in the area of the mind, psychology, psychiatry, will not even guess at what you and I are capable of doing. Do you know that you have more power in your hand than we would need to light up the building you're in for probably a month? There's about 11 million kilowatt hours per pound potential energy locked up in the electrons in the atoms of your body. That's just in the physical part. We've got a marvelous mind. We have a brain. The brain is the electronic switching station. When you think, you activate brain cells. You alter the vibration you're in. In the movie The Secret, we talked about attraction, the law of attraction. The law of attraction is a secondary law. The primary law is the law of vibration. The vibration that you put this massive energy in is going to dictate what you attract. Karen's going to touch on this. But the beautiful truth is, Karen has a very organized presentation. She's got a very organized program. And if you will muster up the wisdom to invest in you, and don't think for a second of why you can't, only think of how you can, I guarantee you from this night on, your life will just start to improve. And it doesn't matter how good it gets, it can always get better. Better's a nice word. Everything can get better. Your relationship will get better. Your health will get better. Your wealth will get better. Everything improves. I started to study this when I was 26. I'll be 84 in a very short period of time, about 3 or 4 weeks. I've got as much energy as a person that's 24 or 42. I could burn them out. You see, we don't get energy, and Karen's going to explain that. We release energy. All the energy in the universe is 100% evenly present in all places at the same time. Now, that may sound like a contradiction or a riddle, but it's really not. That means we don't get energy, we release it, and desire is the triggering mechanism to let the energy flow. You know the sound on the computer? It goes whoosh. Well, that's the way it comes out of us. We release it. You've got the opportunity here to really make a change in your life. Listen carefully to every word she utters, and then make a decision that you're going to let her coach you, just like she made a decision to let me coach her. And I'll be working with you through her. Wonderful future. It just takes a decision like that. You try it. Now, put your hands together and give a real warm welcome to this woman.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Bob. And he's absolutely right. All the energy that there is already here, and so is Bob. So this legacy, this wisdom, this knowledge, it absolutely continues on. And we're going to get into that today. So let's start off with this question: how do results happen? And you probably don't spend a lot of time thinking about this, but you certainly spend a lot of time looking at your results. You're programmed to look at the results. 99% of society are programmed to look at their current results. You're programmed to look at the bank account, you're programmed to look at the circumstances, you're programmed to look at everything outside of you. But we create our results by what's going on inside of us. And we're going to get into this today, and I'm going to explain it to you. You can take notes, feel free to take photos of the slides if you like. We've also given you a beautiful new pen to write with there today. That was a great lesson from Bob. Something that we do at all of our events now is give you a beautiful pen to write with your thoughts, your most valuable commodity. And they should be released onto paper with a beautiful pen. So can you all hold up your pen? You found your beautiful pen there? Lovely. Great. So let's think a little bit about how results happen and what kind of results you've been getting. So I want you to take a closer look at your results and maybe just jot down a few figures. I'll throw out some questions, answer the ones that are relevant to you. Perhaps think about your sales figure for the last year. What did you sell in terms of sales volume? Think about maybe your health and fitness. Are you at your ideal weight? Are you as fit as you want to be? What sort of results have you been getting in terms of the physical fitness? People always like to think about that, especially coming into this time of the year and the new year. Perhaps think about how much money you're earning. Think about the revenue, your total revenue of your company or business, what you've been turning over. Think about how you spend your days. What you do from the moment that you wake up in the morning to the moment that you go to bed at night. Start to think about how satisfied or unsatisfied you are with that. And I hope that you were brave enough to leave your ego at the door when you came in today. And you'll have the courage to look at yourself squarely and answer these questions. Because from that place, you have the opportunity to have an enormous breakthrough. The only reason why we wouldn't do that is because of the paradigm, which I'll teach you about today. The paradigm is the biggest problem in your life, but it is also the biggest possibility when we learn to change it. So let's think about our results and how our results are created. If we start to think about how much money you're earning, your overall sales revenue, how productive you are at work or at home, how fit and healthy you are. What do you think produces that result? It's the paradigm. And we're going to start with this because we've got to understand that this is at play if we want to have any chance of making a decision to overcome it. So what is a paradigm? A paradigm is a multitude of habits or ideas that condition you to operate in a certain way, and they're programmed in your subconscious mind. A paradigm expresses itself automatically. You don't have to try. If you live with somebody, you'll know that they're creatures of habit. The time they wake up in the morning, whether they get out of bed straight away, whether you get out of bed straight away, whether you're productive as soon as you get going in the morning. If you live with somebody, you don't screw around with their morning routine. Am I right? People don't like their habits messed up. We don't like anything that's new or different. It's not that we don't have a desire for change or increase, that you don't want to dominate 2023. It's just right now your paradigms have you in a prison of your own making. And so until we learn to change the paradigm, it's impossible, despite how hard you work, how diligent you are, the results can't change. So there are two things you must know if you want to transform your results. And you're in the room today, and you're in the right room today. You've been attracted here. If you're on the live stream, it is actually absolutely perfect that you are watching and joining us today. There are two very important things that you must know. You must know where you are and where you want to go. That's very logical. We set goals around that. We build business plans around that. We execute strategies around that. It's very simple and very obvious. So why are so many people still feeling stuck? Why are so many people getting the same or similar results year on, year out? Why are people continuing to attract the same or similar relationships or clients or business outcomes? When there is infinite available to us, why is that the case? Why is it? Is it that we just don't have a great goal? That's what I thought for a long time. I thought maybe just my goals weren't that good, or I just needed to be more focused. You know, this year I'm going to give it the best I've got. I'm going to pull out, I'm going to do it. This year's the year I'm going to achieve that goal. And another year would pass and I'd do a little bit better. Who can relate to that? Just a little bit better, maybe even another $100,000 better. Maybe you would attract that slightly better relationship. Wow, I'm going to win that big client. But relative to what we're capable of, we're still operating at a very small level compared to what is possible. So why is that? If it was as simple as knowing where you are and where you want to go and setting a goal, more people would be achieving their goals more often. More people would be living how they really want to live. The reason why they don't is because of the paradigm. And the paradigm is where you're at now. The paradigm is in your current results. It's in the current company results. It's the status quo. It's what you're used to achieving. Have a look. Let's go back. A paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior, and almost all of our behavior is habitual. If you've ever known a salesperson that'll go out and they're used to selling 50 or 100 or $1 million a month in revenue on whatever product or service they're selling, they have a bad month, the next month they're going to pop straight back up to that level. That's where their self-image is programmed. That's where their sales paradigm is programmed. They have a really big couple of months and they'll course correct back to wherever the paradigm is programmed. And people live like this their whole life. So we've got to understand that if the paradigm stays in control, you're disqualifying yourself from anything better than what you've already got. Imagine today being as good as it's ever going to get for you. Today is as good as it's ever going to get for you. And if we let the paradigm stay in control, that's what we're trading our life for today. But if you learn to change the paradigm, if you learn to build a new model that makes the old model obsolete, and I'm not saying that the current model is bad. You might be getting great results. I'm getting great results, but I'm still upgrading my paradigms. Craig's getting phenomenal results and he's still upgrading the paradigm. Matt's getting phenomenal results in his company and he's in the room with his whole company ready to upgrade the paradigm. So just because we're running along well doesn't mean that we shouldn't be aware of this and doing this work. Personal development, personal growth, professional development isn't just for people who aren't doing so great. The real winners, the leaders who are dominating their industries, the leaders who are innovating, who are true entrepreneurs, are doing this when they're already doing well. And that's why you're in the room today, because you're doing great, but you want to do better. Am I right? You want to go to the next level. You want to take your companies, your families, they deserve it just as much as you do, to have that next best version of you. You owe it to them. You owe it to your partners, to your children, to your staff, to your family to upgrade your paradigms. Because when you upgrade you, you upgrade everything around you. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigms. to be able to change your paradigms. And the gap between knowing and doing is poles apart. We can know this information, we can read the books, we can watch the YouTube videos, we can come to seminars like this, we get all motivated, we all get inspired, we think I'm going to do it, but we don't, because it's the paradigm, and that's the science that's telling us that 96 to 98% of the way we operate is conditioned. And so we have to get very targeted in our approach and organised in our approach to upgrade that paradigm, and it's a beautiful thing to do. It absolutely liberates you to begin to live how you really want to live when you do this. You deserve to live passionately at the level you are destined to. And I want you to go within now and really feel that inside. You know, when you were a kid, what did you always want to do? What did you always want to earn as an income? What difference did you want to make in the companies that you're involved in? When you took the job that you're currently in, what difference did you want to make? What did you know you were destined for? You deserve to passionately live at the level that you're destined to. And what I love about this work is it doesn't matter whether you're using it to improve your job or your company, or you're using it to improve your personal life, both areas benefit. You don't exist in a silo. Just this part. And if the last couple of years weren't a great example of business and life crossing over, it's just you. It's just you and you. You're creating at home, you're creating at work, you're creating with your clients, you're creating with your children. There is no separation. You either bring your best or you don't. You either upgrade your paradigms and that benefits all of your life, or you don't. There's no halfway. We don't just do this at work and we don't just do it at home. Your whole life benefits when you do this. You can create your own economy. Contrary to popular belief, contrary to what the media would have you believe, what your bank manager would have you believe, you run the show. It's just you and the almighty universe. And either you learn how to control and direct that flow, or you don't. Either you're in control of your conscious mind or you're not. Your conscious mind is either operating in an orderly state or a disorderly state. And an image brings order to the mind. And the more orderly you are in terms of your thinking, the more effective you'll become on a day-to-day basis. The easier things will flow at work. The better opportunities that will come your way. That you don't have to work harder. Every single one of you in the room today and on the live stream are quite capable of doubling, tripling, quadrupling, 10 timesing your personal performance right now today without working harder. You could do your job better, you could grow your sales, you could attract more clients, you could have a happier, healthier relationship without you working harder when you get this and you apply these principles. Because the physical side of your world is the most insignificant part of your world. The physical side is just a representation of where you've been in the non-physical, where you've been in your mind, where you've been with the pure positive energy, whether you've been expressing it in a greater way or whether you've been suppressing it. Whether you're open in a creative process or whether you're closed off to that creative process. We never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, we build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. I shared this story recently. Think about a new model. You know, who's ever bought a brand new car? And a car that you've never had before. It's a new model car, yeah? So we didn't just try to get better performance out of that current car. We went and bought a new car because we wanted the new car. And I use this example of being a pilot. So when I got my pilot's license, I learnt to fly in a Cessna 172. Little 4-seater aeroplane, cruises about 110 knots. And that was the model that I did most of my hours in as I was learning to fly. Most of my hours after getting my pilot's license was also in that airplane. So I grew up in a little country town in far western Queensland, a place called Birdsville. Anyone know where Birdsville is? Birdsville Races, far western Queensland, tiny little town of 100 people. So that aeroplane, to get from Archerfield to Birdsville, is a 7-hour trip. Still faster than driving. Driving is about 18 hours. Pretty good deal, don't you agree? This year, we chartered a jet, a CJ2, and we got there in 3 hours, and we got back to the Gold Coast in 2.5. That's a new model. That new model could get us where we wanted to go faster. It was more effortless. We were very comfortable. There was air conditioning, there was drinks, there was champagne. It was a new model that made the old model seem obsolete. Now I want to buy a jet. Now I want to learn to fly a jet. So this is what we have to do with our life. You're going through life right now wanting better results, wanting to improve your performance, wanting to make a bigger difference in your industry. But the model of today can't give you the results of tomorrow. It can give you the results of today. Does that make sense? So we have to upgrade the model and be willing to do that and find the joy in that and the freedom in that. And yes, it's going to cost you some time and money to learn how to do that. But the trade-off is you get to go where you want to go in a happier, healthier, more enriched, more fulfilled way. You're going to achieve the business results you want, the company results you want, Matt. You're going to be able to, achieve the sales goals, the things that you want in a more effortless way when you build the new model. Attract the clients, the relationships, the family life. So don't try to outperform, just do a little bit better. It's safer to do that, which is why most people go sideways. Most companies, most teams, most individuals, they go sideways. They just do a little bit here and a little bit there because it's safer, it feels easier. But when you're willing to build a new model, which begins on the inside, a new mental model, a new mind model, and then translate that to your physical world, it's a little bit like going from the Cessna 172, which was still great compared to driving. But then I became aware that there was another possibility, that I could actually take a different aeroplane, a different model that had different capacity to get me and my family where I wanted to go in a different way. That's building a new model that makes the old model obsolete. This is really a black and white deal. It does not matter how hard you work, how many hours you put in. If the paradigm does not change, ultimately the results will stay the same. And this leads to you feeling frustrated, tired, overwhelmed, confused, because you know a lot, you're smart, you're educated, you've got degrees, experience. I've got a lot of experience to do. I've got degrees. But if I don't change the paradigm, if you don't change the paradigm, the results are not going to change. And that's what I teach you how to do. Change the paradigm. Go to the root cause of the performance. Go to the root cause of the results. Go to the root cause of the paradigm and spot that quickly for you individually or as a company so that you can start to perform at that level that you really want to perform at. Start to create the results that you really want to create. Help the people you really want to help. Make the difference in the industry that you really want to make. Lead your field. This week we were studying in my Inner Circle of Excellence program some teachings, a recording of Bob and Sandy. And Sandy Gallagher, who you'll meet a little bit later on today, I've got another video to share with you. Sandy became a business partner with Bob Proctor, but prior to that, she was a banking law attorney. So she was doing mergers and acquisitions and billion-dollar deals. She had done $100 billion worth of business. When she said that to Bob, Bob said, "You mean 100 million?" And she said, "No, 100 billion." And as a lawyer, they're taught to think from precedents. Any lawyers in the room? Any lawyers on the live stream? Let us know. And so they would be taught to look for data, look for cases, look for evidence of, what had gone in the past. And then from that place, she would get creative. How are we going to do it this time? What else could we do? And then when she started to work with Bob, she realized that wasn't the creative process. She had to retrain herself not to think from precedents. And right now, you're thinking from paradigm in the same way. You're thinking from circumstances, you're thinking from logic, you're thinking from the way you've done it in the past. But there's an opportunity to approach your whole world with a fresh set of eyes and build a new paradigm, a new operating model, a new way of thinking, a new way of creating results that boosts performance, that allows you to dominate without working harder, without the stress or overwhelm, feeling happier, healthier, and more fulfilled on a day-to-day basis. I mean, really knocking it out of the park. Really, really knocking it out of the park when you learn how to do this. But ultimately, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much effort you put in, knowing is not enough. Creating the paradigm shift is where it's at. And do you want right now, answer this question for yourself, to be as good as it's ever going to get for you? Because that's what you're trading. Let's talk about paradigms and cybernetics. Both are control systems. So in both aeroplanes, both models of the aeroplane, they have different levels of performance, but they both have it. Well, actually, I lie. My little 172 didn't have an autopilot, so I hand flew. That whole 3.5 hour blocks to Birdsville. But most airplanes have an autopilot. Certainly the jet had an autopilot, and it keeps the plane on course. And if the plane deviates from that set course, it brings it back on course. Everyone agree with that? No one would lie that if you've ever been flown from the Gold Coast to Sydney, Brisbane to Sydney, I promise you the pilots take off and they put the autopilot on. And they take it off on that last part of final. And if the plane deviates off that course, the autopilot will bring it back on course. That's the cybernetic mechanism. Right now, the temperature in the room is probably set to about 22 degrees. If it gets a little bit hot, the thermostat will kick in, bring it back down to 22 degrees. If it drops below that, it'll bring it back up. It's a temperature. And you have a paradigm programmed in your subconscious mind right now that's controlling the temperature of your life. Paradigms and cybernetics are both control systems and operate essentially on the same principle. Both maintain a definite course of action and will not deviate from that course that has been established. You must alter the paradigm if you desire to achieve improved results. Both companies and individuals have operating paradigms. In a company, individuals bring in their own paradigms and then they create corporate cultures, they create corporate paradigms, team paradigms, what the team believes they can do. If the team wants to do better and set a big goal, then the team has to believe and create a paradigm shift. That's what we teach you how to do. How to create that paradigm shift in an orderly way that takes the guesswork out of it. That you're not darting around the mountain anymore trying to figure it all out. When I got into this, when I started to study this with Bob Proctor nearly a decade ago, you know, the number one overwhelming feeling that came over me in a relatively short period of time, anyone want to have a guess of what it was? Give me some relief. Any other ideas? Excitement. Disappointment that I didn't get it sooner. Peace. Because I knew now that I had a process, a system, and I can see Rochelle nodding her head there, and she'll relate to that as a client. An organised system to make sense of this world and our businesses and our lives and bring that order. Create that shift in a more orderly way, surrounded by people who get it, who are doing it as well, who are thinking in new dimensions, who are thinking at a high level and creating results like this. To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm. And sometimes that feels a bit scary. I don't know exactly how old everyone is in the room, but I know that you've spent most of your life becoming you. You're very well practiced at being you. And so being willing to evolve, being willing to transform, knowing that you're in control of that you have a process, a formula, a plan, an environment, the support, as you're doing that new thinking and you're feeling like that, you got people around you that are doing it too. That you can say, I've got this, because you know you've got it. You know why that's happening. We teach you that. We teach you that. Results. Results always tell a true story around where the paradigm is at. Think about your days. Think about your sales. Think about your sales goals. Think about the influence. Think about your industry, where you fit into it. They always tell a true story around where your paradigms are programmed, where your subconscious mind is at. So are you really ready? Are you really ready to dominate? Dominate your, not dominate another, dominate your income, influence, industry. Because if not you, then who? Do you believe that someone else is more worthy of that? That someone else should be doing it? That it's not for you, it's for somebody else? If you do, that's part of the paradigm. That's part of a self-image paradigm. That's ignorance to the fact that you have this infinite power to direct for any outcome. And you know what I think about this? Like when I sell a person thinking into results, I think I've got to get better at doing it, because if I don't do it, they're going to buy something else that doesn't work. And in the same way, in your industries, in your businesses, in your jobs and careers, if you don't get better at doing what you're doing and put your hand up and claim that number one spot, someone else will. And they're probably not as good as you. So who's ready? Who's ready to really take it up a few notches? Most people are extras in their own movie. Most people are watching somebody else be the star of the show. They're watching some other company be the star of the show. What about you? I believe in you. I believe you can be the star of your own movie. I believe you can dominate your industry. I believe you can 10 times the influence in your industry, take that market share. Not only do I know you can, I know exactly what you need to do to be able to do that. And it doesn't matter if you know people in the same industry as you. Amateurs compete, professionals create. You create. Don't try to compete with anything. You create from the image of what you want. You create from your C-type goal, which we'll get into today. You go where you've never been before. You set goals as a company and you set goals individually as part of that company. And you think about what you would love to do individually as a team. You think about where you would love to go. And then you decide to change and upgrade the paradigm to match the results that you want to create. It's all about the mind. It's all about your marvelous, miraculous mind. Don't go confusing the brain with the mind. The brain is a very powerful instrument. It is an electronic switching station. The mind is in every cell of your body. The subconscious mind is in every cell of the body. So that's why this work is so powerful, and that it works, because the second you get into it, you're automatically starting to transform what's going on at a subconscious level. And you're starting to express a new reality that by law begins to produce new results. There's no guesswork in this. It's a process. It's a formula. And it works. Your spiritual DNA is perfect. It requires no modification or improvement. It is all-knowing, all-powerful, ever-present, and it is the real you. You have this power, this energy flowing to and through you, this spiritual perfection resident within you right now. And up until yesterday, and I say yesterday because today's a new day, you've only been expressing a very small part of that compared to what is possible for you. Compared to what is possible for you individually, collectively as a team, as a family, as an organisation, as a community. And it is my mission to continue to create a community of people who get this, who are living like this, who are making their lives and the people that they come in contact with, their lives better too. Because every sales meeting you go into, every business presentation, every event, when every person in your company, when every person in your family gets this, that leaves people with a feeling of increase. They get a calmer, more confident, more orderly version of you today. And have you ever noticed how feeling energy is in the room before you are? That you can feel, like if someone walks into your office or walks into your house. We had an electrician around the other day actually, a father-son duo. And there was some bad juju there. You know, there was a little bit of, energy that wasn't quite right. They weren't saying very much, but you just knew that they were really getting at each other, working together all day, every day. You can feel it. So that word vibration, don't let that confuse you or scare you or, law of vibration. It's feeling. The law of vibration decrees that everything moves and nothing rests. You're in a constant state of motion. And you're either in a state of growth or a state of disintegration. Now, here's the deal. If you're not moving on a big idea, you are definitely in disintegration. You might not feel it or see it yet, but it is happening because we first manifest in the spiritual side of who we are. And we turn that into results. So if we're not giving our spiritual DNA, our perfect DNA, a place to expand, then we're definitely in a state of disintegration. It's like you want to be let out and you're not letting yourself out. You're not really being who you truly could be. But when you do let that out and you set a big goal and you lock in and you follow the formula, then everything rises. And the beautiful thing is law of attraction responds to that. Now, you might be a little bit like me. When I first heard a couple of decades ago, law of attraction, I thought, that's not for me. That's not for business people. That's not for corporate companies. But it just is how it is. That's not a personal choice you get to make. It is playing out in your life right now today. The law of vibration decrees what you attract to you. And the better the quality of what you're expressing, the better of what you attract back. You can scale your businesses, improve your results, attract clients. When you get this working for you, not against yourself, you can create so much more in a more effortless way. So I want you to remember that. It's not a personal choice whether you want to understand or whether you want to believe it's playing out for you. It is. The choice is whether you choose to understand it and learn to work in harmony with it or not. You exist from the highest level, the spiritual side of you, the non-physical side of you. When you die, does your body just stop moving? It doesn't. You're still transforming. Returning to spirit, breaking down. Spirit always was, but right now we're incarnated in the physical side of life. The spirit is always here, whether the physical body is here or not. And so as we understand that we're working with spirit and we're working with energy and we're building an idea with that, our intellect, we're using our conscious mind to build that idea. We're getting emotionally involved with that idea. That is the invisible side of success. 3 parts non-physical, 1 part physical. The physical side of your results is a product of the non-physical side of you. Your physical results are a product of where your mind has been at. But when people say mindset, I mean, you can't work with that. You've got to know what we're talking about here if you want to control it. It's not enough to think I'm just going to be positive. It doesn't work like that. What is positive? What do you mean positive? What do you mean mindset? What do you mean think positively? What do you mean be happy? How do I just be happy? That's not enough. We've got to go deeper. You've got to go deeper. You've got to understand this, really get this. You've got to study this. You are a spiritual being, gifted with an intellect, living in a physical body, having a physical experience and creating results by product of that. Your physical results are as much connected to the spiritual side of you as the spiritual side of you is connected to the physical side of you. There is no escaping that. There is only understanding degrees of awareness. Spirit is 100% evenly present in all places at the same time. Has anyone ever had an experience where you think, I'm going to call that person and they call you? Yep. Or that sort of moment. The energies, it's connected. Doesn't matter that you're on the other side of the room. Everything exists in frequencies. I can pick up my phone, and I can call my auntie in South Africa on her phone number, on her frequency. There is an infinite level of it. And everything is connected. We're all connected. You're all in the room today. This particular group on the live stream. Nothing happens by accident, it happens by law. Your choice is whether you choose to understand that and leverage it. Leverage it for better performance. Leverage it to dominate your industry. Leverage it to improve your sales outcomes. Leverage it to improve your impact. To make a bigger difference. To help more people. Because that's what we're here to do. To do great work, to do it well, and to make a difference. Because there are plenty of people out there doing a poor job. And it's up to you to step up and be the next leader. Be the leader. Be the beacon on the dark night, as Bob said about me. In your field, in your industry. Get this, study it, invest in you, understand this. The perpetual transmutation of energy. Just as an acorn is planted in the earth and grows the oak tree, you can take what you want, plant it in the garden of your mind, and I'll teach you how to do that, and grow what you want without the guesswork. Look at this here. Think about, anyone have a cup of coffee this morning? Anyone have a cup of tea? Anyone have hot water and lemon? You boil the kettle, the heat is applied to the water, and the water starts to boil. Can everyone picture that? Yep. And then it starts to produce steam. Pot of water on the stove. And then you see that steam, and then it goes into the ether. It's transformed. The energy is transformed. Agreed? 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 It's the same with your goals. It's the same process. But I don't know about you, were you ever taught the perpetual transmutation of energy in year 5? No. So you didn't get this at school. You didn't get it at university. No one sat down and said, Decision 101, here's a subject on it in year 10. They just said, look at the report card. That's you. They just said, the weather outside, it's raining, you better not go outside. They just taught you to live from the outside in. They just taught you to look at your results. They just taught you to follow the status quo. How many schools only encourage a university degree? They don't teach you to think outside the box of what most people are doing. And so 98% of the population are just following each other, and it's sheep going nowhere. You can take an idea, build an idea from spirit, build that idea in your conscious mind, and by law it must manifest itself if you follow the process. Not by luck or chance, by law you can improve how you're operating. And you can do it in an orderly, calm, confident way. Let's look at the mind and your paradigms. So let's look at this little diagram was created in 1934 by a man named Dr. Thurman Fleet. And he was heavily involved, he was a chiropractor in San Antonio, Texas, heavily involved in the healing arts. And he said, we're trying to change something or change a part of a person that they haven't seen before. He said, we have to work at the root cause and really give people an image to work with. If you close your eyes for a moment, everyone just close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to imagine the front door of your house or your unit or your flat or wherever you live. And I want you to pay attention and notice whether the door opens from the left to the right or the left to the right or the right to the left. And open up the door and walk inside and have a look around. What do you see? Don't worry if there's a bit of mess on the floor, don't worry about that, just kick it to the side. Just have a look around as you walk in the door. What do you see? Everyone open their eyes. Did everyone see a picture? Did everyone go to the front door of your house, of your flat, of your unit? You think in pictures. And a picture brings order to your mind. When I asked you to think of the front door of your house, you got one image, correct? We can only handle one image at a time. So the stress, the overwhelm, the disorder that we feel is when we're trying to process too much information at once. We need a goal, a clear aim point that we can center our mind around. And that's not the easiest thing to do. Why? Because the paradigm is in the present results. The paradigm is in the physical. The paradigm constantly has you looking and feeding off what is outside of you. What I teach you how to do is to feed off what is inside you. To feed off that inner image of what you want in the conscious mind. So let's look at this diagram. The large circle represents the mind and the small circle represents the body. This is not exactly how it is, but for the sake of explaining this to you, we're going to draw two circles, a large circle and a small circle. The large circle represents the mind. There's two parts to the mind. Psychologists, neuroscientists, brain surgeons would say, oh, there's more than that. But there's two main parts that you want to be concerned about, that you want to understand and be concerned about. There's the conscious mind, otherwise known as the thinking mind. And there's the subconscious mind. It's up here on the slide for you. Otherwise known as the emotional mind. And then we have the body. Whatever is going on in the mind will be reflected, will be felt in the body, will be expressed in energy and in behavior, and begin to produce your results. Now, what would happen if you're constantly looking at your circumstances, if you're constantly feeding off your environment, your current results are influencing how you think, how you feel, how you behave. Guess what? More of the same. So this is why you have to learn, and we teach you how to think. Don't excuse mental activity for thinking. You're not thinking. You're thinking pre-programmed thoughts that are part of the paradigm, which is part of the current or past results, producing the same or similar or a little bit better, but the quantum leap is available to you, doing dramatically better, starting to really create what you want to create. The paradigm exists in the subconscious mind. 96 to 98% of all of your results are a product of what's going on in the subconscious mind. You know a lot, but it's what's going on here that's producing the results. Think of it another way. Everyone read that? The ant and the elephant. Your conscious mind is like the ant. Your subconscious mind is like the elephant. 96 to 98% of your day-to-day results are a product of the paradigm. Your sales results, your client results, product of the paradigm. Only 2 to 4% of your current results is a product of what you're actually consciously thinking about. So what we teach you how to do is how to think in a new and different way at a conscious level so that you reprogram the subconscious mind with new paradigms, with new programming, so that you start to express a new vibration, new and improved behaviors to produce the new results that you really want, that you deserve, that your company deserves, that your client deserves, that your industry deserves to have somebody like you leading the charge. Your conscious mind can choose the idea. At a conscious level, you can accept or reject the idea. At a subconscious level, you're done. Whatever you get emotionally involved with, you're triggering the subconscious mind to respond. So at a conscious level, just look up here on the screen on the slides that we've got for you. At a conscious level, you can accept or reject, and you can originate. You can say, I don't buy into that, I don't like that, I'm not going to think like that. Easier said than done though, because who's in control? The elephant. The elephant goes, no, that's not logical. You shouldn't think like, you got to listen to that person. Not yet. Haven't you seen the news today? It's raining outside. Don't do it today. Interest rates are going up. Don't buy that house. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you can't call them after lunchtime. Wait till tomorrow. So you're thinking, I should call them, I want to call them, but the paradigm's saying, it's 2 o'clock, that'd be risky. So we don't do it. Imagine if you made a few more phone calls every day a week like that, how much more you'd earn in a year, deals you'd close. But we don't do it because of the paradigm. The paradigm's got us all wrapped up. The elephant's in control. The subconscious mind cannot reject. It is emotional and it must accept any idea you get emotionally involved with. The problems you think about, the challenges you think about, the past results, it's all being fed straight into your subconscious mind until you become the gatekeeper and you learn how to stop that. And that's what we teach you how to do. How to think. How to exercise the personal freedom to choose how you want to influence your subconscious mind. And the beautiful thing about the subconscious mind is it cannot determine the difference between what is real and what's imagined. If any of you have children and you send them, they fall over, or you go to bed and you every night you worry about them. And you feel that. It's totally imagined. And we're in that feeling of worry or doubt or fear. And in the same way, you can put yourself in a new vibration, a new feeling for the results that you want. But it's not the way you've naturally been programmed. Unless you had, in year 3, a module on your mental faculties, you probably didn't get this. But it's up to you now to get it, to understand it, and to apply it. And improve your business, improve your companies, make a difference, earn what you really want to earn, hit the sales goals that you really want to go for. School gave us valuable knowledge. 2 + 2 is 4. However, school never taught us how to alter our paradigms. Anyone do paradigms in year 8? That's what we're up against. Therefore, we frequently do not do what we already know what to do, how to do. We're gathering all of this information, but when you leave here today, the paradigm's still going to be in control. Just going to walk out here and keep creating the same results day in, day out, unless you make a decision to change it. Learn how to change it. Follow the process. So you've got superior knowledge and getting inferior results, and that leads to chaos, confusion, frustration, because you know you could be doing better. And I'm the first person to say 8 or 9 years ago, that was me. I'd had my own company since I was 18. I had a branding and marketing business, branding and design business. And I thought, why am I not earning $1 million a year yet? Like, I'm smart, I'm educated. I was traveling the world, I was speaking, I was doing work with Shell Petroleum in the Middle East. I was on stage, Qatar Business Women's Forum. I mean, I'd published a book, but I thought, geez, like when? I thought maybe I needed another degree. I thought maybe when I hit 40, I don't know, that was in magic number. Maybe when I'm 40, it'll be time. I'll permission to succeed when you turn 40. I don't know what I believed, but I was frustrated. Can anyone relate to that? Because you know you could be doing better. You know that you've got a great product. You know, and it doesn't mean that you're not doing better. I work with clients, 7, 8, 9-figure clients, and they still run up against this because they see the potential for a bigger impact. They see the potential within their team to make a bigger difference. And they're eager and determined to figure out how to bring that to life. And that's why they come. That's why they invest in this. That's why they get into this, so that they can understand how to take that knowledge and turn it into results. And that's why it doesn't even matter if you're doing something else right now. Maybe you're involved in another program. You can still get this and you do this, because at the end of the day, you've got to change that paradigm, learn how to change that paradigm. So this just amplifies anything else you're doing. You layer this in and it just amplifies all of that other training, all of that other work, all of that other coaching. It brings it together and it allows you to really create that leverage, because now you're starting to really take what you want, the goal, the vision, the results that you want for you, your company. I teach you how to build a paradigm around it, a new mental program, a new model that allows you to effortlessly create that performance gain. Effortlessly improve those results. So we want to consciously control the mind, replace the paradigm, build the new idea in the conscious mind, create a new subconscious mind paradigm, of which there are many. There's actually 7 areas of your life that paradigms dominate. Express a new vibration, new energy, by law of cause and effect that starts to produce the new results. There are 7 major areas that paradigms control and influence. One is your ability to earn money or your sales results. Your second one is your use of time, how you use time in your day, how you fill the hours of your day. Your productivity and effectiveness are influenced by a paradigm, how productive you are, how effective you are at home and at work. Your logic is also influenced by the paradigm, whether you think it's logical to do that or not, logical to make that decision or not. That is influenced by the paradigm. So is your creativity and relationships, dictated by the paradigm. So when you learn to upgrade even just one of those, your ability to generate sales or your use of time, where you're now using your time differently for different activities, you're going to start to produce mega performance gains. But it's not going to happen by accident. Why? Because 96 to 98% of the way you operate right now is a product of the paradigm. Same old thinking produces same old results. We think that we're thinking something differently, but we've got such a dominant paradigm around money or sales or performance or a historical result that it traps us. It's why we say the paradigm is a prison of your own making, but it's also the biggest possibility of your life, because when you learn to upgrade or transform it, you open yourself up to, bigger performance gains. It's a little bit like going from the Cessna 172 at 110 knots to a CJ2 plus jet that can do 450 knots. It's just like night and day. They're completely different operating systems, completely different models. And you have the opportunity to build a new model for your life, build a new model for your company, build a new model for your team, build a new model personally that allows you to live a more fulfilled, enriched, happy life. So if you have a look here, at school you were taught about sensory faculties. If this starts at birth, you know, with solids, with the textures, with the touching, with the feeling, with the, you know, using your hands, sensory environment, sensory play. See, hear, smell, taste and touch. This is living from the outside in. What is the outside? Current results. You're feeding your mind more of what is that. We look at the bank account. We get emotionally involved with the client's feedback. We get emotionally involved with who's in the room and who's not. We worry about stuff outside of us and we feed that into the conscious mind. We have to train you to block that out. You have these little antennae, it's like out there looking for the data, scouting around, because your mind is goal achieving. Your conscious mind is goal achieving. Your subconscious mind, sorry, I apologize. Your conscious mind is goal setting, your subconscious mind is goal achieving. So your conscious mind is looking for a target. This is the cybernetic mechanism. Your conscious mind is looking for a target. It's looking for a zone. It wants to hone in. And wherever there is information being fed, it's looking for that. If there is no clear goal, one single goal, it's going like this. It's like a little robot, isn't it? It's like doot, 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 doot. Anyone feel like that as they go through their day sometimes? There's lots of little bits of information. And so the conscious mind is feeding that and it's going, okay, we're going here. Oh no, we're going there now. Oh no, we're going there now. Oh no, we're going here now. And then it's going, okay, now I've got to achieve that. Oh, I've got to achieve that. Oh, in the body. And it's like, no wonder we've created a society of people who are depressed, anxious, worried and fearful about life. It doesn't have to be like that. I'm not saying that's you, but I'm sure you can relate to what I'm saying out there. But you're the leaders to create that shift in your industry, in your jobs, in your companies, and that's what we teach you how to do. We support you, we guide you to help you be your best and for you to be able to do that. What we want to get you using is your mental faculties, of which you have 6. And strengthen these. You were born with these right out of the gates. Anyone got children in the room? Yeah. Anyone, if you don't have children, nieces and nephews? Yeah. Anyone have either hear or take your children to a mental faculties play lesson? Put the baby down and let's talk to them about their mental faculties. Doesn't happen. We did the sensory play, didn't we? But we've got these mental faculties that we can use to stay in control and create the life of freedom that you really want, to create better business outcomes, better company outcomes, better client outcomes. You can use these. You can learn how to use them. And you want to learn how to use them. Not just imagination, determined imagination. Not just focusing for 5 minutes, a will that burns hot on a single idea that it becomes unstoppable. You become unstoppable. No one can compete with you because you're operating at such a high level of awareness. That's what this is about. All right, I've got another special video for you now. So this is another video from Bob and Sandy just talking about this process and what it means for your life, what it can do for your companies, what it can do for your family, and the difference that it can make. Really, really bringing this. We're giving you the iceberg today, opening your mind up, getting you thinking about the possibilities. So let's hear now from Bob.
In times of change, the learners will inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists.
For a moment, consider the things your mind has brought you. Everything you have, your work, your relationship with your family and others, your philosophy of life, all come to you as a result of using your mind.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve, regardless of how many times you may have failed in the past or how lofty your aims and hopes may be.
The more you study you're going to find your belief system is based upon your evaluation of something. The more you evaluate you, the more you're going to believe in you.
Bill Gove was like the Frank Sinatra of public speaking. He is who mentored and taught Bob Proctor how to speak. And he quoted Bill Gove saying, if I want to be free, I got to be me. Not the me I think you think I should be. Not the me I think my wife thinks I should be. Not the me I think my kids think I should be. If I want to be free, I got to be me. And I better know who me is. And it was like a bucket of ice got thrown on my head. And I was just like, whoa. Am I really doing what I really want to do with my life? And then he kept saying, what do you want? What do you really want? And I wrote down in teeny tiny print so nobody would see. And I said, I want to be in the inner circle of this company, and I want to be his closest advisor.
What we've got to learn to do as individuals is adapt to the change that's taking place. See, change is inevitable. It's never going to stop. And we're picking up speed. Thinking is when you take a power that's flowing into your consciousness, that flows to and through you, and you originate thoughts. And you put the thoughts together and you create an idea. And if you can create an idea, if you can see something in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. And I don't care whether you're 80 or 18. It makes no difference. The illiterate of the 21st century are not going to be the people who cannot read and write. They're going to be the people who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Now think about that for a moment. Do you know, you and I are being controlled, virtually controlled by paradigms. I see a paradigm as being a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And I want you to think of this. Almost all of our behavior is habitual. There's such phenomenal opportunity for the person who really understands themselves, who understands how their paradigm was formed and how that paradigm can be changed. And without that knowledge, the opportunity is just going to go right past them.
A friend invited me to a leadership seminar, and I didn't even ask anything about it. I didn't know the details. It was in Vancouver, Washington. I said, sure, I'll go. And so I ended up there on that Friday night, August 18th, 2006, and I'll never forget it. I can see where I was sitting in the seminar room. I can see what I was wearing, and I see out walks on stage Bob Proctor, and I didn't even know who he was. I kind of had connected between Bob Proctor and The Secret, but I didn't know this was a Bob Proctor seminar. And within like 15 minutes, it was like he took my head off and shook it all around, and everything that I believed and thought I was starting to question. There was one point in the seminar when he said most people tiptoe through life, hoping to make it safely to death.
I believe if we're really going to enjoy the change that's taking place in the world that we're a part of, we're going to have to start to understand what makes us tick. We're going to have to understand how the paradigm was formed, how the paradigm can be changed, and how it's literally controlling our life. When we do understand that, then we're in control of ourselves. We're living the way we really want to live. We've knocked down all the walls. There's no limitations. Sky is actually the limit.
Really, really gets you thinking. Most people are tiptoeing through life, waiting to make it safely to death. What do you really want? I want you to think about this now. What do you really want? Think about the next 12 months. Think about your businesses. Think about your jobs, your role. What would you love to achieve in that role? What difference do you want to make? And start to think about what you really want. Let's talk briefly about your goal and how to think about goals that are going to serve you well. We don't just want to set any kind of goal, we want to set a goal that's going to constitute growth. So there's 3 types of goals that we look at in thinking into new results. An A-type goal, a B-type goal, and a C-type goal. An A-type goal is doing something you've already done before. You know how to do it and you can do it again. It's all in present results. A B-type goal is what you think you can do. You look at your experience, you look at past results, you look at performance, you might look at what somebody else wants you to do. But what do you really want? That's a C-type goal, and it's probably going to be a fantasy for you right now. It's going to be something that you don't know how to do, that you haven't done before, that is going to require you to grow. It's going to feel scary, and the scarier the better. Because it should feel like that when you're growing in new dimensions, when you're moving in a direction that you haven't been before. There should be company or corporate C-type goals, and there should be individual goals as part of that. An A-type goal is doing something you already know how to do. A B-type goal, what you think you can do. A C-type goal, what you really want. Just name it and claim it. If you have a feeling or an impulse around what that is right now, write it on your notepad. Even if you have to be like Sandy Gallagher and write it in teeny tiny print and cover it up so no one around you can see it. You want to really think about this and get clear on what it is that you really want. We'll help you to do that. You don't have to have that level of clarity today. But this is where the magic happens. Whatever you would love to achieve, personally or professionally, you can. And it doesn't matter the time that it might take. You're going somewhere anyway. You're waking up every day and trading your life for something. So you may as well go after a great goal. You may as well be part of a great company. You may as well build the company of your dreams, because the time is going to pass anyway. You're going to spend the money anyway on something. So you may as well build what you really want. Build the operating system for the thing that you really want. We'll teach you how to do that. The big drift, I'm calling this. The big drift. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until we ultimately become enslaved by it. If you don't have one single aim point, you're drifting. One single image that you're working with, you're drifting. Now remember that this is the work of the conscious mind. It doesn't mean anything's going to change, but it's a start point of bringing order to your conscious mind. It's a start point. And my job is to get you thinking about what you really want, to help you break free from those limitations, the logical thinking, to provide that accountability and support to hold you where you want to be. I had a client yesterday in my Thinking Into Results coaching. He's actually now moved into Inner Circle, but he did do Thinking Into Results for 6 months first. And he said, "Oh, Karen, I haven't felt like this in such a long time. I feel so scared and I feel so hopeless and I just don't know whether I'm really going to be able to do it." And I said, "Good." I said, "It means that you're in the terror barrier and you're scared, and the more scared you are, the better. Just keep studying, keep doing what I'm telling you to do, follow the rules, and you're going to be fine." And why is he feeling that? Because he's got a new C-type goal. And he's 6 months into the physical manifestation of it, following the rules, following the principles. So let's remind ourselves what a paradigm is. It's a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior, and almost all of our behavior is habitual. We're going to set the goal with the conscious mind, but we're going to achieve it with the subconscious mind. And right now, what's controlling is the old paradigm, is current results, is past results. So we've got to learn to update and upgrade the paradigm to match the goal achieving results that we want. And that's what we teach you how. That's what the Thinking Into Results process is all about. When the paradigm stays in control, you disqualify yourself from anything better in life. Today is as good as it's ever going to get for you. I mean, think about the amount of money that you're earning. Thinking about your sales results. Think about how you run your day. Think about the relationships that you have. That today is as good as it's ever going to be. And when you permit the paradigm to stay in control, to condition you over and over and over again, that's what you're accepting, more of the same. It can't be any other way. You're just going sideways. But you didn't sign up for this today just to go sideways. You signed up for this today to dominate your income, influence, and impact. To lock it in, right? To make that quantum leap. And you owe it to yourself to do that. And I believe you can do that, and we want to help you do that. We've helped hundreds of people in Thinking into Results, thousands of people across our various coaching programs and events, and it's your turn too. To learn, we need a certain degree of confidence, not too much and not too little. If we have too little, we will think we can't learn. If we have too much, we'll think we don't have to learn. The wisest of people are growing themselves. Not everyone comes to work with Karen Brook, but it is where the best come to get better. Discipline. Discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and then follow it. Wants and discipline need to be connected. A decision without discipline will fall flat. A want without disciplining the mind to then create the new paradigms will also fall flat. Discipline is key to this process, and it's something that you can get better at, you can get more in control of. You can really elevate your mind, your thoughts, your mental faculties to perform at a new level that will support you in creating the life that you really want without the struggle or overwhelm, without it feeling difficult. So I want to talk a little bit about this 24-week program with you and share why it's so powerful. Simone and Elizabeth are going to hand out these brand new brochures for you and share a little bit about this. And I'm also going to invite Craig and Kelly to join me on stage in a moment and just talk a little bit about this. Oh, the decision one can come next. We'll get the brochures out first. So this is the original program that Bob and Sandy created in 2008, I think it was. Sandy Gallagher was going into law firms, doing mergers and acquisitions, and realised that if people understood this in Fortune 500 companies, their outcomes would be different. And so they created together the original Thinking into Results program. And that's what I started with. Here in Australia, in the very early days of this, there wasn't anyone else doing it. It was a big thing to have it available here in Australia. And I've been doing it every day since, making this experience better and better for you. And in the last year and a half, introduced Thinking into New Results. And some of you are a part of that now as well. This is a very powerful, highly organised, highly structured process that takes the guesswork out of success. All of the little bits of information, we've put it in a very orderly process for you, and we've rearranged it into phases that are suitable for individuals and individuals part of teams to be able to utilise. And what we've created now with Thinking into New Results is a process that you move through to build that new model, but for you to feel in control of it. What happens when you feel like it's outside of your control? We get scared and we abort mission. But when you feel in control and empowered with the right tools and resources, the right information at the right time, and that's what a great mentor and coach will do for you, is give you the right information at the right time. And I've been coaching the basis of this material now for nearly 9 years, this one process. We have other programs, but this is the foundation, and the Thinking into New Results is the best iteration of it yet. And so the way it works is we get you really taking a look at your results and starting to create the new paradigms and the new programs that are a match for what you want, and taking the guesswork out of success for you. So I want you to just start off with, because I know you're all getting a little bit scared right now. In a minute, I'm going to ask you to pull out your credit cards. No, I'm not really. It's okay. But what I do want you to do is write your name and your email address and your phone number at the top of the form. Can everyone hold up that form? Kelly, you're good at this. Hold up the form. Show everyone how to do it. Oh, you didn't get one. Oh, ladies, everyone's got to have one. Absolutely. You might want to buy it for your husband or a friend, Kelly. Who knows? So everyone hold up that form. Put it in your hand. This is something that Bob used to do. I should have one as well, ladies. Used to do. There we go. There we go. We're conquering the terror barrier straight away. It's in your hand. I love it. Okay. So first thing that I want you to do is write your details at the top of the page. Don't worry. You can buy today if you want, but if you don't want to, you can book a call. So everyone, it's okay. Write your details at the top of the page just to get started. Beautiful, thank you. Just to get started. You know why I make you do this? Because I'm making it easy for you. Because if I don't have you put it in your hot little hand and write your details on the top of the page, guess who's hot on my tail to talk you out of it? The paradigm. Guaranteed. Yep, it'll kick in. So we're going to just start to, nurse it a little bit, pat it a little bit. It's okay. We're just writing our details down to start off with. Trust me, I'm doing you a favour here. All right. So you could that's step one done. You can put that to the side right now. Oh, thank goodness you don't have to do anything else. No, look, I make light of it because it helps. Because you get worried that you come to these events and I'm going to sell you something. And I am. But I have a duty of care to do that. I actually have a duty of care to wake you up, to expand your level of awareness and not let you leave the room without a plan. If I let you leave the room without a plan, a next step in place, whether that's enrolling today or booking a call, then you leave here feeling better, but the paradigm's still in control. So I don't apologise for selling from the stage, because it's why you will get results. Helping you overcome that terror barrier, conquer that paradigm, that logical voice that's scared. Should I or shouldn't I? Decision fatigue, this time of the year. Maybe I should wait. Maybe I should wait until January. All of those little stories and voices. But you're a leader. You're here to dominate. You're here to take action. You're here to step it up. You're on the live stream because of that. Because you want to go to the next level, because you're doing great, because you want to get better. And we know we can help you with that. And that's what professional selling is. Helping a person achieve something that they really want. Helping them move forward, helping them take action. Helping you create those results that you really want. It's all in awareness. There is a marvelous inner world that exists within us. And the revelation of such a world enables us to do, to attain, and to achieve anything we desire within the bounds or limits of nature. I mean, let that sink in for a minute. That's pretty extraordinary, and that's you. It's all in awareness. There is a marvelous inner world that exists within us. And the revelation of such a world enables us to do, to attain and achieve anything we desire within the bounds and limits of nature. The law of vibration does not discriminate. The law of attraction doesn't say you can have it and you can't. It just responds to you. It responds to you. Who here would like to earn more money, earn more commission, grow sales, put more money in your bank account, any or all of the above? Yep, So the law of compensation is something you want to know about. The law of compensation clearly states the amount of money you earn will be always in exact ratio to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. So let's think about this. The amount of money you earn will always be in the exact ratio to the need for what you do. If I'm not mistaken, there is a big need for what you do right now. There is a big need for the product or service that your company provides. So that's taken care of, agreed? Your ability to do it, that's where your focus should be. Your ability to do it, getting better at what you do, becoming more aware of how to do it better, becoming more productive, becoming more effective, operating in a more orderly state, expressing a better quality of energy. Organising that process is going to improve your ability to do, and that makes you difficult to replace. It makes you difficult to replace as an employee within a company, and it makes you difficult to replace as a company in your industry. I'm very difficult to replace in the field in which I work. And that's why I earn a lot more than a lot of other people. Not by luck or chance, I just decided to get very good at it and help a lot of people with it and study it from every angle to become a better coach, a better mentor, to guide you to create what you want, Lisa. The law of compensation responds to that. It is an exact law, and one that you can use to your advantage. One that you can really leverage individually and with your teams and with your companies once you know how. We never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, you build a new model that makes the old model obsolete. I want to pause there and bring Craig and Kelly to the stage for a little Q&A. Please welcome them to the stage. Give them a round of applause. We can grab a microphone. We've got some seats here. So Craig and Kelly are existing clients of mine, and I've invited them. I'm going to ask them just a few questions and we'll have a little chat. If you've got questions for them, you might like as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about what it's like to actually use this material. For some of you, it might be the first time today you're hearing this. You might have heard it before. You may have even studied with me in the past. We should have a microphone there for you somewhere. Perfect. We're handing them a microphone? Oh, we are. We can trust them. Yes. All right. So I'm going to start with you, Kelly. You were a client many years ago and you have come back this year. Tell us what inspired you to get back into get back into thinking into new results? Like, where were you at? And how has it been benefit to you to be back in the system again?
Hi guys. So when I originally started working with Karen, it was around family and it was around business was my main reason for being here. So we, together, with the guidance and advice from Karen, manifested a baby into existence. I'm 46 years of age, but I only had her last year, 15 months ago. So it took me from working with Karen in 2017, fast forward a good couple of years of being in the conversation to really bring that to fruition. But what I had to work through was huge. So in a business, multiple staff, big salon, so I'm an image consultant and hairdresser, I do makeovers. So really I had to work myself back out of the business and leverage myself and move away from the paradigm of, you know, the staff issues that I had, or do I need to go bigger, or do I need to find a manager? And it went on with those kind of conversations. But anyway, we got the excellent results. So I went, all right, great, I'll go and now integrate this and make it happen. So it happened, but with a bit of a gap in between. So I could have done that in a shorter amount of time, is what I'm trying to say, if I'd stayed with the ritual and the routine and the discipline of the study, which is about keeping in the community and keeping in the conversation and keeping the vibration high. So that was then. having that bit of a gap in time, then I moved on with life a little, and then things started to take a little bit of a spiral downways. So I started to hear see those old habits coming back into place. I started to have that scumbag voice play out a little bit louder. So I'd met a few wonderful people through the community, and we'd kind of met up for lunch a couple of times and also agreed that it was like, oh, so sick and tired of myself. You know, just can the world just gobble me up, and just I'm tired of hearing this voice. So I think, it was Karen put on a alumni, just like, let's all get back together. It was a nice opportunity to get out of the house after having a baby, get dressed up, put my lippy back on and get back into life and a conversation that mattered. And with no intention of signing back up, but it was like, I just need to be back in the conversation. Let's just see how this all plays out. And you know how that feels. So went along, and of course it's very evident when you're in amongst people that are aligned with a positive way of thinking and are getting the results that you want to achieve, that you must be in amongst it. So it was really a no-brainer for me to be able to say, Karen, all right, let's start. And I had all the confrontation of money and time and all that jazz, but sometimes you just feel it right deep down in your heart and your gut that you need to be there. And all I can say is how I've done life is I always find the money and I always find the time. Sometimes it's just a matter of really just going, I'm going to lean into my ski tips and I'm going to take a deep dive down that hill. And who knows how it's going to go, but I have faith that it will all work out, and I'm surrounded by the right people. And you know that in your gut and in your instinct. You know when you're in the right place.
Beautiful, well said. Craig, what about you? So you and I met for the first time actually in August. You're a very accomplished businessman, been around this work for a long time in the industry yourself. Where were you at, and what motivated you initially to join Thinking into Results, and then very soon you also went into Inner Circle? Tell us about your...
Well, way back I achieved some very big numbers in the financial services space using The Secret and Bob Proctor. So I used the I'm So Happy and Grateful, if you've seen The Secret, or obviously this work and Karen's work. And I created some huge numbers in a very, very short period of time, which was very confronting because it was in the middle of the GFC, and I created one of the largest financial investment products in the industry, and didn't come from the industry, came from another industry, so that was quite challenging. So the paradigm came up, health issues, working 18 hours a day, that kind of thing, and obviously that had a huge impact on my health and well-being. So long story short, I got back into the Bob Proctor work in the last sort of 14, 15 months. So did some of the courses online, and then started to look for somebody locally that I could work with, because I don't know about you, but if you've done a lot of personal and professional development, it's okay getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes, but not year after year, to work with the best. So I always try and work with the best. And then I investigated and found that Karen was the best at what she did in Asia Pac. And fortunately for me, on the Gold Coast, she lives 15 minutes from my office and 30 minutes from where I live. And what I saw was available was someone who was committed to doing the work like me, but had spent a lot of time with Bob in the US. So it was the closest thing I could get to Bob, because Bob's not here anymore. But he is actually, I think he's more here than he ever was. So I came along to an event like this about, when was it?
August.
August, so not so long ago.
Brisbane.
And my intention was just to sort of say hi and, and I'll see you soon. And then a bit similar to Kelly, I was like, wow, I need this right now, because even though I was sort of on ramping and with my business sort of already global, but really expanding to help 800,000 people raise their consciousness. So I do a lot of work in intuition and higher states of consciousness from an intuitive space, and getting your heart and gut, and as Kelly was saying earlier. So to do that, although I'm doing that, I wanted to do it in a more orderly way, and I wanted to do it faster, and I wanted to have a community around me. because the whole Australian thing, sometimes that tall poppy syndrome, and being a little bit older, and some of you have been around, it hurts after a while, so you just got to really cleanse that paradigm. And I signed up on the day, and then I think wasn't very long, within 2 or 3 weeks I signed up for the Inner Circle program. And it's been an extraordinary journey since then. So what I've achieved, some people said, why are you here? Why are you doing this course? And I said, because I want to do it easier. I want to do it faster, with more flow and with more confidence. And not that I wasn't confident, but in a calmer way, in a more relaxed way. And that's what I'm achieving today. So, and Karen is, an exceptional mentor. She really knows her stuff, and she walks her talk. There's just a lot of people in this industry that are good at a pitch, but they don't live and breathe the work. But Karen lives and breathes the work, so do the team. And that's what I was looking for, is people that are actually living and breathing it, just like integrity, authenticity, and getting the results. So you can clearly see and experience here today that Karen is what she is, and she's getting the results and is making a real change and impact in the world. So it's a real honour to be part of it. And I haven't had a coach for 3 or 4 years, because I am a mentor and coach, and I advise private offices, CEOs of banks, and things like that. And but when you look at the work, you want someone who's really skilled and knowledgeable and executing and kicking major goals using the work. Not 5 years ago or 3 years ago, but right now, and taking it forward. So that's the difference. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm participating in the program.
I love that. That's so good. And I think, on that note, you can hold on to that. Yeah, when you think about our community in this room of people, and it's really important that everyone in the room, everyone on the live stream today, in our coaching programs are all doing this work with you. Are all setting C-type goals, working through changing paradigms, hitting terror barriers, following the rules, following the lessons, following the formula, and to have a community of people not only based domestically in Australia but around the world for you to tap into. You develop this network and this community of people that you're with forever. And I love that we're able to bring live events back into the space again, alongside our live streams, for you to remember that. In an online world, one of the biggest problems that we have now in the personal development industry is there is an overload of content. There is an overload of online short courses and resources and YouTube videos and podcasts, and it's doing a lot of, in most cases, more harm than good. People are more confused than ever about the steps that they should take and the next steps. And so what we can offer you here in this community is order, is simplifying the process, is showing you, guiding you where you need to focus. And we have a great community, peer-to-peer, business networks, people doing business together, because you're doing, we've got a very broad range of people that have come together. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But if you are feeling that this is resonating with you, I do encourage you to fill out that form today. I do encourage you to enroll today if you're feeling guided towards that, even if it feels like a little bit of a terror barrier. And if not that, I understand you might need to have a chat, and we want to help you with that. We would love the opportunity to talk to you. Simone at the back of the room, she's here from South Australia for this. She's head of our client enrichment. She would be happy to have a quick chat with you in the room today before you leave. Hop on a call with you tomorrow morning before she goes. We really want to help you move forward and not just leave this on the table, I think, not just leave it until next year, to support you and guide you in making that investment and that decision. And giving you the opportunity to do that in the room today before the paradigm kicks in for another year and you're another 6 months, another 12 months down the track wishing that you started today.
That's what I did with Karen, because I was really tired. I was getting up 3 o'clock in the morning. I drove to Brisbane and I was quite exhausted. There was a whole lot of things going on at the time with the business. And I had the opportunity to have Karen and talk it through. So within 15 minutes, we talked it through, and then I realised I couldn't afford not to take immediate action.
And you're creating a new thought in every second. You know, that was something that even Karen put to us as our community the other day, and it was really good. Like, I took it away and I went, well, you know, why would you wait to do anything, whether it's committing to this or whether it's committing to your exercise or committing to changing your relationship? You know, you forget, your brain's always listening and you're always creating what you're about to step into. So that thought that you had from yesterday or the year before or last week is what the results are stepping into the room today. So always stay really conscious of what you're creating now that's going to be your tomorrow, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that.
And those of us that are entrepreneurial and online businesses, what I'm finding very valuable is a lot of my team, like a lot of companies these days, is virtual. I do have people that come to the office. Is a reading room, which is 30 minutes a day, where we actually read and go through the work. And it's just extraordinary, not only for your own insights, you'll read a paragraph of a reading, but it's the community and the connection and the networking, and you know, business has already come out of it, but it's not through that, it's just through actually doing the work together with like-minded people and the togetherness and real people.
Rather than the internet. Like, we get a lot of feedback with all the knowledge and all the multiple places that we can get information from, but really, like, my man at home is learning and getting feedback from the internet, and I'm like, you need to be with your people.
Yeah.
You need to be with human beings where you actually see them and their pretty colour that they're wearing, or the beautiful fragrance that they're wearing, or, you know, the energy, the vibration that they're at, because we all want to be, no matter where we're at with all the success in our life or the things that we own or whatever, all we really want is contribution, guidance, advice, connection, love. Yeah. We don't want to be at home doing it on our own. That's me, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me too, we forget that.
Thank you. All right, any questions? Anyone got a burning question? They're going to be here, so you're happy to stay around after if people want to have a chat to you, or that'd be great. So beautiful. All right, thank you so much, Craig and Kelly. We might just get these stools off the stage, ladies. All right, actually, while we've got it. So put this back in your hand again before it gets lost. So if you'd like, a couple of options. So today, if this is resonating with you and you want to take action today, that's your option one, is to enroll now. For those who would like to take that opportunity today, we also want to gift you complimentary our 28-day The Wealthy You training. It's a great way of spending the next 28 days getting organised, running through some of those basic ideas to do with this process, and then we'll get you starting fresh in January with the 6-month Thinking into Results program. So that's not on here, but we are going, for those of you who make that decision today and enrol, we're going to give you access complimentary to the 28-day coaching program, which also has an included value of $2,200 on top of your coaching program. For those of you who would like to have a chat, tick the second option and we'll book a call. We'll either catch up with you today in the room or schedule a call with you to really take you through it. So everyone got those? Hold up the forms again, put them back in your hands. There we go. So fill out those forms before you leave today and see Simone in the back of the room. Hand those forms in and we'll enrol you in TIR or we'll book a call with you. All right, so you deserve to live passionately at the level you are destined to. It's all about making a decision. I wondered whether this should be the start of the presentation today or the end, because decision without question is the most overlooked step in any transformation process. We fail to make a committed decision, an irrevocable committed decision around what it is that you want to create, who you want to become, where you want to go. But when you make that committed decision, you flick a switch. Decision is a great mental activity. And when you make committed decisions, people think I'm going to wait on that decision. Well, that's a decision to procrastinate. And procrastination is a product of the paradigm. And it's linked to logic and it's linked to current results. It's all linked together. There's a science to this process. There's a science to success. When you make committed decisions, you make committed decisions for the results that you want to create. You make decisions and you think from where you want to be. Think about this time next year. You know, where do you want to be? What sort of results do you want to have created? Make a decision that will support you in creating that. And if that decision today in the room is to enroll now, then do it. Get out the form, get out your credit card and do it. If that decision in the room is going to be to book a call, then book the call. Get on a call, crash through that terror barrier and take action on it, because it's the decision that confronts the paradigm. It's like the old 1-2 punch. It's the decision that knocks the paradigm out of the park. Procrastination is in harmony with it, because procrastination is a product of the current result. It's a product of the paradigm. Decision is so important. It changes lives. It transforms your life. The second you make a decision that's in harmony with the results that you want to create, you begin at that moment to begin to attract new results. When you make decisions that are in harmony with current results, in harmony with logic, in harmony with the current paradigm, you stay right where you're at. Remember at the beginning of today I said that the gap between knowing and doing is poles apart. You want to make decisions for your future. And live every day like that. Live every day out here, right? Every day out there. The comfort zone's got no growth. There's nothing good about being in your comfort zone. Nothing. There's no growth attached there. There's only disintegration. Give it everything you've got. Every day.
Most of us feel like we are here for more. We walk through our day with a deep sense that we are not living to our full potential. We don't want to live an average life, having a mediocre existence and never fulfilling the destiny we feel inside. The problem is the busyness of life continues to steal from you, your time, your focus, and the energy you need to make the change you so desperately desire. You're continually running from one thing to the next, and your to-do list never seems to get any smaller, making the dream you have of doing something grand become a fantasy. I get it. After dealing with clients from all over the world and helping them make breakthroughs that you can only ever dream of, I know I can help you too. You see, I believe you're meant to fulfill your dream. You are meant to have a fantasy goal that seems too big and then achieve it. You are meant to earn more while working less. That's what I've been helping clients do for the past 12 years. And now it is your turn. Here's how we do it. 1. Make the decision that your dreams are worth it, that you're worth it. 2. Choose the option that works for you on this page. And 3. Let's start working together and make your fantasy goals a reality. I can't wait to see how your life transforms, just like my other clients from around the world.
So get out the form again. Choose the option that works for you best on this page. If you're ready to go right now, then make that decision and enroll now today. Let's get you going. Let's begin your breakthrough today. If you'd like to catch up with us and have a chat, I get it. I understand. So tick the option 2 and book a call and see Simone and Elizabeth at the back of the room after today. This is really a black and white deal. It does not matter how hard you work, how many hours you put in. It doesn't matter what other information you gather. Until you learn to change the paradigm, the results don't change. And we're here to become paradigm busters. Not just for now, but forever. That you live like this. I feel like I live in a constant state of the terror barrier. Matt, can you relate to that? Feels like we just live in a constant state of the terror barrier now because we're always creating a new model. We're outperforming the old one so quickly, so fast, and we're building the new one with a community, a like-minded community of people that are doing the same. Ultimately, your results will stay the same from one year to the next. It is very unlikely, unless you make a committed decision and take some action today in the room, that anything will change. Why is that? Because either you're going to make a decision today and choose option 1 or option 2 and begin to think from the future results you want, or the paradigm is in control and you walk out of that room and logic's got you. How do we change paradigms? 2 known ways: the constant spaced repetition of a new idea or concept, or an emotional impact. Which one do you want? Would you rather have to go through an emotional impact that causes you to stop and think, I've got to make some changes with my life, with my company? I better call Karen now, it's real bad. Or we be proactive and we get out ahead of it and we think, hey, I'm infinite, we could be doing better individually or as a team. I believe in you in a way that you can't even imagine right now. And you know why I do? Because I've seen so many people succeed with this. I've achieved results in my own life that were once a fantasy. I have clients around the world right now on this live stream tuning in on this that have never left my coaching programs because they get better and better and better. So I know it will work for you as well, with every essence of my body. But it is up to you to make that decision and take action. That I can't do for you. That is your responsibility to make that decision. And love yourself enough and know that you deserve to create the paradigm shifts that you want. And it shouldn't be only when you have an emotional impact. You know, the breakup of a marriage, the death of a loved one, some kind of event that causes you to go, I've got to now make a paradigm shift. I want you to be in control of it. I want you to have fun on the trip. I want you to accomplish these C-type goals that feel like a fantasy for you. For your company to set a C-type goal, Matt, and knock it out of the park in half the amount of time. And how do I know that you can? Because I've seen it happen. And for every single one of you in the room, the possibility is there for you on the live stream to do the exact same thing. Make a decision and change the paradigm. Get into this. Get into this with everything that you've got. Don't leave anything on the table. Enroll now today. Take a payment plan. Pay in full. I don't mind. We'll support you either way, or book a call. It's not going to cost you a cent to have a chat to Simone at the back of the room, but it could earn you thousands of dollars and give you time back with your children. You deserve to live passionately at the level you are destined to. You deserve it. And you know what? Not only do you deserve it, Simone, so does your family. So do your friends. Your children, they deserve it as well. Because when you grow you've got more for them. When you grow your companies, when you improve your profits, when you improve your productivity, your staff benefit from that, your customers benefit from that, your family benefit from that. It all flows through you. You have infinite potential. It is about time that you develop more of that. It is about time you make that quantum leap. It doesn't have to be a life of overwhelm and overwork. Your future is waiting for you, don't miss it. So make certain that before you walk out that door today, you hand that form back in with a decision. You hand that form back in. Don't leave those goals and dreams in the room for another day. Those decisions for another day. Because that paradigm will be at you. The logic. You walk out that door today and you've got emails, you've got school pickup. You think it's going to be easier tomorrow or the next day? It won't be. It'll be the same process, the same little terror barrier, the same shift. So do it while you have the support of each other in the room. Say yes to your yes while you have the support of each other in the room. And do it now. I want to thank you so much for joining us here today. I want to congratulate you for investing this time in yourself to be here, to gather this awareness. And I want you to know the level of respect I have for each and every one of you. for being here, for having the courage to show up, for maybe the first time or after a long time, for joining the live stream. I respect you so much because this isn't for lightweights, but it is for the best who want to get better, who want to dominate, who want to improve their income, impact and influence, and really lead their field. So I want to thank you so much. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right, we have a lucky door prize to finish off today with. If we can get all of your lanyards, Simone's going to just collect all of the lanyards. Well, perfect. This is a phenomenal book we're giving away today. The Art of Living by Bob Proctor. You'll read this in a weekend. It is so good. But if you win this, you still hand that form back in, right? All right. Here we go. Who's winning it? Who's winning it? I've got some energy over here. Michaela Barr. Hey, there we go. I love it. I felt the energy over here was like, do I want to win it or not? There we go. Congratulations. It's so good. All right, thank you very much. We're going to be in the room for another half an hour or so, so if you want to catch up and chat to any of us, got your form out? All right, make sure you fill that in before you leave. We've got a beautiful brochure there. We're happy to stick around and have a chat. Thank you so much for being here, and we have a special reading on decision to give you on the way out to take home with you tonight. So thank you so much and have a great afternoon. We'll see you again soon.